Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, sXeblues, and today we're going to be looking at Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. It is basically said to be, one of, if not the worst, of the Star Trek feature franchise. And what I'm hoping to do with this is pinpoint 3 specific scenes where I feel that is absolutely justified and you can see proof, but also I'm going to relate why I still think it works from a certain viewpoint, and hopefully you'll be somewhat familiar with the film and know what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and jump right in with the first scene I'd like to mention, which is the row your boat scene. And I think it's a perfect example of the bad directing side of the argument. You have Kirk trying to explain to Spock the song Row, Row, Row Your Boat Gently Down the Stream. And in his delivery of this line, you can see it's very sloppy.
Row, row your boat. Row, row, row your boat. I love row. Do you know row, 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 row your boat?
But I think on the opposite side of the coin, you have a scene that definitely shows the humanity of Captain Kirk. In that he's not this perfect, mythical character that he's basically been grown to be regarded as. At the end of the day, he's a man like anyone else. And that is what I think is evidenced by this poor line delivery from a certain viewpoint. And the second scene I want to look at is the revelation of pain scene, and that is basically because not only is that what's going on in this particular scene, but by the end of it, you'll probably need an Advil. And this is where the main protagonist of the film, arguably protagonist, Sybok, he's trying to reveal the inner pain of Dr. McCoy and Spock and Captain Kirk. He begins with McCoy, and we see, with no pretense whatsoever, the history of McCoy, what made him want to be a doctor, in this case, the loss of his father. He could do nothing to save his father's life, and he eventually had to make the choice to pull the plug on his father. As well as we have him trying to reveal the pain inside Spock. And, this would be poignant with what we know of Spock and the relationship between Spock and his father Sarek being strained as it has been since the 60s original series. But I feel that this scene is a mere contrivance. I think it's there as an excuse to, for people watching the film to explain why Sybok is there to begin with. Here is a character that we've never heard of in the entire history of Star Trek. And here he is, out of the blue for this film. Someone thought this would make the story more interesting if it was some sort of, familial bond that was broken between, Spock and a sibling, but I don't think it works here, and I think this scene, rather than carrying the poignancy of the relationship between Spock and Sarek, as I say, it's only really there to, give an excuse as to why Sybok even exists. But even with all that said, it comes down to one of my favorite moments in any of the Star Trek films, when Kirk delivers the line,
"Damn it, Bones, you're a doctor. You know that pain and guilt can't be taken away with the wave of a magic wand. They're the things we carry with us, the things that make us who we are. If we lose them, we lose ourselves. I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain."
And with that, the entire revelation of pain scene is effectively saved for me. And the final scene I'd like to mention is the God scene. Now, one thing I want to mention about this, the whole story builds up to the Enterprise having to get through the Great Barrier at the center of the solar system. Now, they've already gone through the Great Barrier on the original series in the second pilot, where no man has gone before. But they went through the barrier at the outer edges of the solar system. And when they did this, this ended up resulting in Gary Mitchell as well as another crew woman suddenly having their Esper ratio, their psychic abilities, ramped up to off the scale levels and become almost godlike. And I think it's very interesting that we're dealing with a character who's said to be God, and yet no one has been affected on the ship at all whatsoever. But essentially this, godlike character, what is the story with this character? We have no history, nothing is explained. Again, a character just exists out of the blue. It's not thoroughly explored what this is all about. Of course, we have Kirk basically ask the question, what does God need with a starship? I would prefer if he asked the question, who the hell are you? And, there is something to be said for what is out there. It's the grandest version of answering that question. What is out there? We found God, essentially. At the end of the day, it is just another alien with a megalomaniacal complex. But, this is Star Trek V in a nutshell. There are good elements, but overall, it's not that great. And I think you have to want to see, you have to be open to these little good aspects of it. There are definitely great character moments between the main triumvirate of Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. And that's pretty much all I'm going to have to say on it. So I hope this video was entertaining and finds you well. And otherwise, that'll be it from me. So I will catch you all later. Peace.